Hey, this is Jeff Wick, editor of the Fayette County Record newspaper. Hot off the presses, we've got the first edition of the new copy of the newspaper, and we're here at Art Connections Gallery on the Courthouse Square in downtown LaGrange. Going to go deliver some news and find out about this amazing new gallery that just recently opened here. Oh, wait, look who it is. H.H. House, staff writer of the Fayette County Record, the guy that puts the pain in painter, working on something over here. What are you painting, Pancho?
I'm doing a painting of my friend Andy Balin.
Oh, yeah, it's Andy Balin, staff writer.
Oh. Almost through.
Oh, just putting the finishing touches.
Finishing touches. In fact, I think I've got a pretty good likeness right there. Andy,
What do you think, Andy?
What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I think you have it.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
You got a future in art if this newspaper thing doesn't work out. Hey guys, let's welcome here Deborah and Michaela of Art Connections Gallery. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys for being here.
How about we trade a copy of the first edition of the Fayette County Record for a tour of this wonderful gallery you've got?
Absolutely, we would love to.
Before we talk about the art, let's chat about a few of the headlines you can find in this copy of the paper that's getting labeled up and heading out to newsstands and subscribers as we speak. But Andy, you want to take us through some of the big stories?
Yeah, the big news this morning is the election results. The May 5th elections took place on Saturday. City and school board elections around the county, along with the special election for Texas House District 13. We got the complete results on the front page. You can read all about that. Have a story about the chaos continuing in the special election race. It's headed for another runoff. Big shakeup in Schulenburg with new city council members, new school board members. Also, last week, a big story came out in New York Times Magazine about Eddie Tipton and the lottery scandal up there in Iowa that also involves our former Justice of the Peace, Tommy Tipton, here in Fayette County. There's some interesting details came out in that story. Specifically, an article that appeared in our paper is what spurred one of the key witnesses to contact the FBI up there and testify what led to some of the additional charges. Also, Pancho, you have a couple of stories in the front page this week.
We're going to have wrestling, I know.
Wrestling at the Fayette County Fair. I'm super excited about that.
Andy's over the moon.
You probably bought your tickets already, huh?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And then also a story about a local wildlife organization celebrating 25 years of existence.
Tomato Fest coming up in Ellinger on Friday, May the 25th, and Saturday, May the 26th, and Sunday the 27th. That's always a great time out there in Ellinger.
And there's a lot of sports news.
Yeah, it's a big sports weekend locally. Big weekend for the Round Top Carmine baseball team. They won their playoff opener. Schulenburg softball team advanced to the third round of the playoffs. The LaGrange boys and girls baseball and softball teams, however, were eliminated. You can read all about that action in today's paper. A ton of other stuff. Navidad Valley cattle women donating to area schools. A ton of other honors for local kids and graduates. So just a ton of stuff you can find in today's paper. A ton of stuff you can find in this Art Connections gallery. Ladies, just tell us a little bit about this tremendous place that's such a great addition to the Courthouse Square here.
Well, thank you. We are thrilled to talk about our gallery. We recently opened last October after being in Bastrop for 6 years and moved here to the square that we love already. And we brought with us artwork by about 120 different artists, ranging from the expensive fine art that you would expect to lovely, wonderful gifts and small items for everyone's budget. So don't be frightened off by walking in and seeing big things. There's a lot for everyone. One of the things we wanted to talk about today was this is gift giving time. Next to Christmas, May and June are your biggest gift times because you have Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation, weddings, you're going on vacations, you need hostess gifts. So we thought that we would just kind of give you a little tour of some of those items that we have.
Yeah.
And I must give some credit to this wonderful portrait here. It looks very much like a painting by Kathy Sowers. In fact, it might be.
Inspired by Sowers' work, huh?
Yeah. So, first of all, one of our primary gift ideas are the spirit tiles by Atlanta, Georgia-based artist, Houston Lou. And what they are enameled glass on copper, and then it's on wood, so it can sit on a shelf or hang on the wall. And they are based on literary quotes. So he made it to look and feel like a book. The author is at the top and the quotes on the side. This one is by Van Morrison, "Smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirits fly." We have everybody from John Lennon to Mary Shelley to Shakespeare. But mainly they're wonderful because you can find something that fits the personality of whoever you're giving a gift for. One of our very favorite gifts for Dad is right here, and this is a series of kaleidoscopes made by a Colorado artist, Henry Bergeson. And they go a little bit beyond our cardboard kaleidoscopes that we had before, and you can actually put your camera up and get a look.
Oh, it is capturing. Yeah, look at that.
So the dads love these, and if it's a granddad, it's a cool thing for him to do with the grandkids. We have those graduates, those guys that are really kind of hard to buy for. So what we have found that they like are knives from the Santa Fe Stone Company, which is a family company in Santa Fe that does this beautiful stonework. This happens to be mammoth tusk.
Oh, wow.
And black onyx, and it's got the Damascus, thank you, Damascus steel blade. So the guys who know knives know what that is.
Yeah.
We also have a jeweler, Carlos Montanero from California, who reworks the old vintage watches. And so if he can make it work, this one is from the 1920s, so it's kind of cool for that young man to be able to put in his pocket. If he can't make it work, then he turns it into jewelry. So we have cufflinks and rings for the guys. If you have a little graduate, like from kindergarten, then we have these really fun Peapod puzzles that they can play with. So we don't want to miss any of those graduates. Speaking of graduates, we know we have young women who are graduating, and so we have we have 18 jewelry designers and 8 purse designers. So this works for both mom on her special day as well as the graduate. So, and it's all different styles, from very, very simple to a little bit funky to very elegant. So this is Kate Witternitz from Austin, Emily Spikeman from Austin, Cynthia Bloom, and this is our newest artist, Adriana Walker from Arizona. And so you can get a statement piece as well. And so as you move back here, you begin to see, if you got a mama that's on the motorcycle, I mean, this is the purse for her. And so as we move back, we have more bags. We have the Graceland rock and roll bag. We have that cocktail hour bag. Oh, wow. And for the really, truly elegant, there's Marilyn. So lots of different jewelry and purses happening. We've got more over here. Central Texas jeweler Susie Hedelman does some lovely cast silver. These happen to be wooden purses coming from a couple out of upstate New York. So they're carved wood and leather. So there's really something here for all the moms. And this is a particular line of purses that the young women like a lot. They're designed by a couple of women who design in London. They're called Vindula of London purses, and they're a little bit retro and sort of fun and funky in different sizes. So then, of course, June is the month for bride and grooms. So as we move through, of course, if you know their taste, a piece of art is a wonderful treasure. But if you're looking for the more practical, we have this glassware called Me to You Glass by Kathy Hudson from Jonestown, Texas. This has really good light on it. And these are all functional glass pieces. They're keyed to be bread plates, cracker plates, olive plates, cheese boards. But when they're not being used as a functional piece like a salad bowl, take those tongs out and they have a beautiful piece to put on their dining room table or their coffee table. And we are certainly happy to do a registration for the bride and groom if they want their friends to come shop here. We also have some great, the Santa Fe Stone Company that the knives also do serving pieces. So we have salad tongs, carving sets, steak knives, and all this wonderful wooden bread boards and dipping boards and This is sushi, the sushi plates. This happens to say eat well, live simply, laugh often. So these are great gifts for showers, for weddings. If you're going out of town and you're staying with somebody, well, then of course you know it's the polite thing to do to bring something in.
Certainly.
So we have a line of soaps that are made in Europe. These are made in Italy. These are made in France. We also have some artisanal pairing chocolates.
Look at that chocolate that pairs with beer.
And whiskey and wine and champagne.
Wow.
So, and they're incredibly wonderful. Michaela and I know. We have to stay away from them. So that sort of just gives you a little bit of an idea of the gifts we have.
Ton of gifts. Yeah.
But we do feature, obviously, fine art. And connected to our fine art, we have a monthly event called Second Saturday Soiree, and it's a party. Happens every second Saturday of the month from 4 to 8. And we have featured artists who bring in a larger body of work, and they're here for you to meet. We have live music, and we have the obligatory wine and cheese that goes with an art opening. And so this is actually the show that we had for our April show, which was a collaborative effort between photographer David Johnson from St. Louis and poet Philip Matthews from North Carolina. As you can tell, I'm throwing out places. Our artists come predominantly from Texas, in particular Central Texas, so we have local LaGrange artists like Kathy Sauer, Andrea Mathis, Polly Cisneros, but we also have artists from all over the world.
Yeah.
And so you can get a lot of different things here. What we're going to be showing, the gallery will be changing in the next few days.
Because second Saturday is coming up,
This
correct?
is coming up this Saturday. So tomorrow, the blue jeans come out, and I start taking art down and putting up the new art. And our featured artists will be a clay show, a celebration in clay, which will feature Mary Fisher, Susan Hampton, Danny Moss, who are all Central Texas potters who have completely different styles on work. We'll also have Roberto Ugalde bringing in his contemporary impressionistic landscape work, and Roberto is from Giddings.
Ooh, wow.
And then the music will be Fear to Midland, which is a couple that play at the Renaissance fairs a lot. So there's lots of English and Irish music weaving through, as well as, you know, like Scarborough Fair and some of the contemporary stuff that's influenced by that. And so we're going to have a party here.
That's awesome. And you can read more about those artists in Friday's edition of the Fayette County Record. Yeah, it's just amazing how, from the outside, this place doesn't look that big, but it's really expansive in here.
It goes all the way to the back. And for instance, one of our international artists is one that we featured a couple of months ago, Kathleen Stafford. She is in Nigeria right now. Her husband was in the diplomatic corps, and his term was in, he stayed in the Middle East and Africa for most of his career, and so that's where the influence of her painting has come from. And if anyone saw the movie Argo by Ben Affleck a few years ago, they were one of the couples who were hidden in the Canadian embassy, so that is their story.
Wow.
And so it's fun to hear her talk about. We also have to wish a happy birthday to one of our artists. Today, Albert Goldreich is turning 80. And Albert is currently from Sugar Land, but was born in South Africa, grew up in South Africa. So again, you see the African influence on his work. So happy birthday, Albert. Let's see, a lot of you know Cooper Delhart.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we have Cooper's furniture here. I love this chair, which he took a vintage chair, and then the chain comes from, I believe it's a chicken processing plant.
Oh, wow.
And so he had the artistic creativity to put it all together. This is something, a shelf unit that he made from barnwood, recycled barnwood. And you see more of Kathy Sauer's work. This is Andrea Mathis, who is one of our local artists.
Yeah, I was just in here a few weeks ago, and I can tell that everything is different than when I was in here just a couple weeks ago. There's always new stuff in here.
There's new stuff, and sometimes it's old stuff that gets moved and it looks different because you didn't see it over there. But we try to keep it fresh, so we want people to come in on a regular basis, hopefully every month for our party, and see the new work that we have. We do have what would be considered investment art in terms of art that is someone who has a national reputation. Actually, Kathleen has an international reputation. Enid Wood is one of our nationally known artists. Her work has appeared in Pastel Journal, is currently in Western Art Collector magazine. One of the artists that has been known in Central Texas and internationally as a Japanese woodblock printmaker is Daryl Howard. She trained about 30 years ago in Japan with one of the old masters of Japanese woodblock printmaking. So this is fascinating because every color you see has been created by her carving that shape in a block of wood. So if it's 8 colors, then there's 8 blocks of wood that she has carved very precisely to layer it up. And so she is an incredible artist.
That's amazing.
We have from Magnolia, Gabrielle McNeese, who takes small pieces of wood from across the world and uses the values that she sees in that wood and paints the pictures with carved wood, glass, and metal.
It's truly amazing. Well, Deborah and Michaela, thank y'all so much for taking the time to give us and the viewers today a tour of this wonderful place. I mean, it's truly a place I think you'd expect to find in Houston or Austin, not downtown LaGrange. So we are so glad that we were able to steal y'all away from Bastrop. What you got there, Pancho?
Beautiful painting.
Did you just do
Yeah,
that
the
while we were
watercolor.
talking?
That's Kathy Sauer.
And it's called, I just wanted to know if this made you think of anything. This is called Pond with Cows. Pond with Cows.
And it's actually a Fayette County pond with Fayette County cows.
There's a photograph I took languishing in our files called Cows on a Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just...
There you go, Pancho.
Did she copy you, Pancho?
Well, remind the viewers y'all's hours, days of operation.
We are open Tuesday through Saturday
Okay.
from 10 until 5:30. Those are our summer hours starting in 2 weeks. And then, of course, our second Saturday soiree is every second Saturday from 4 until 8.
Wonderful. And we're here on Main Street. The actual address is
123 North Main.
123
Next
right
door
there?
to Celebrations.
And I know you'll have a Facebook page. We're linking to that on this video right now. But do you have a website also?
Yes, we do. It's pretty easy. It's artconnectionsgallery.com.
Okay, wonderful.
So,
And remember, you can always find us online at FayetteCountyRecord.com and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and keep up with all of our news online in addition to reading it in the paper. Thanks so much for watching.